अगर डायबिटीज़ हो गई, so what next? Is that a death sentence? डायबिटीज़ होने के बाद बहुत सारे लोग कट डाउन तो करते हैं शुगर, बट देर आर ऑल्सो दे आर थिंकिंग कि कैन इट बी रिवर्स हो सकता है क्या? सो कैन इट बी रिवर्स्ड?
If you cut down one chapati, you are cutting down 6 teaspoons of sugar directly. Whereas you are cutting only sugar in tea, you are cutting down only 1 teaspoon. So if you want to reduce weight, cutting down that 1 teaspoon in tea is not that beneficial as compared to cutting down one chapati.
In association with Manipal Hospital's Dona Paula.
खुबशा जाणांक दुयेंस जातकर कळटा की दोतोरागेर वचचें पडटा म्हणून, पूण ताचे पयलीं जर दोतोरा कडेन तुमी गेले आनी सांगलें की आमी प्रिवेंटीव कशें करचें, जाल्यार तुमकां घडये फ्युचरान परत त्या दोतोराचें तोंड पळोवचें पडपाना. असो एक दुयेंस आसा, तें म्हणजे डायबिटीज. आतां डायबिटीज दुयेंस कशें जाता पासून जाल्ल्या मनशांनी कितें करप हें जाणा जावन घेवपा खातीर आमी हब पॉडकास्ट सिरिजान आमचे बरोबर आसा Dr. Vikram Dalvi. He's physician with Manipal Hospital, Dona Paula, and he's specialized in diabetic care and treatment. I hope I was right in introducing you.
Yes.
You're majorly into treating diabetic.
Yes.
But first question is that we usually call diabetes as a lifestyle disease. But before even this, a new lifestyle era has come, there were diabetic patients. So how do we call it as a lifestyle disease?
Okay. So see, every disease has some components that are non-modifiable, some are modifiable. So diabetes, non-modifiable are your family history, that you cannot do anything. Your age, as you age, the chances of diabetes they increase, that you cannot do anything. And then comes the obesity. So obesity is something related to your lifestyle, wrong diet, inadequate physical activity, lack of adequate sleep, and that leads to obesity. So diabetes has been known since ages now. I mean, so many, I would say, centuries. But now it was a disease previously of 70s or 80s. In your 7th or 8th decade of life, you would get diabetes. Now it is happening in 3rd or 4th decade. And that's why it is called lifestyle disease. So genetics have changed not much, but lifestyle is adding to your obesity, and that leads to diabetes.
Okay, we are a confused generation right now, because a lot of information that is coming from reels and other sources via internet. So if I don't want to get diabetes, what should I do and what should not do?
Okay, so this is for prevention, right? So basically you shouldn't get obese. And how do we define obesity? It's a simple formula. You should know your height in centimeters and you should know your weight. So height in centimeters minus 100 is correct body weight. For example, my height is 170 centimeters. Then my weight should be 70.
Okay.
If I'm crossing 70 kilos, then I'm going towards obesity. That is simplest thing. Don't get obese.
That's the only thing.
And then weight is not only just weight. It is muscles, it is fat, it is bones, it is blood, everything. So when we consider different tissues, you should have more of muscle mass and less of fat. So
Okay.
you can have two individuals who are exactly of same weight. One may have a lot of fat in his abdomen and the other may have a lot of muscles and hardly any fat. So the person who has a lot of fat, even at same weight, he has higher chances of developing diabetes as compared to somebody who has more muscles.
तो खाएं क्या, क्या खाएं नहीं, जैसे बहुत सारे कंफ्यूजन चल रहा है. Cut down on sugar.
See, one thing we need to understand is our aim is to prevent obesity. And how do we prevent obesity is two ways. One is diet, the other is exercise. So anything that helps you in maintaining weight is good. There is no food in prevention of diabetes or treatment of diabetes that is completely to be avoided.
करेला खाने से डायबिटीज नहीं होता?
No. See, Karela is known to reduce sugar. Okay. But exact mechanism is not very well known as of now. So it is kind of treatment without, you don't eat, the Karela doesn't come in a foil. You don't remove it and have like a tablet, but you are still taking a medicine. So it is kind of treatment.
सो क्या खाए क्या ना खाए, आई एम स्टक टू दैट
You
पॉइंट.
you should eat everything you like in moderation. That's the key.
ओके.
That's the key. You want to eat mangoes, you have mangoes, but how much you eat is important. Suppose you are in month of May, when the April, in month of May, the season of mango, you start eating mangoes, and by May you have gained weight. That means you are eating too many mangoes. Then you have to cut down. So when a patient comes to me, what should I avoid? No, you can eat everything. You have to eat in moderation.
शुगर कट डाउन करो, आजकल फैशन ही चल रहा है कि मुझे विदाउट शुगर चाय चाहिए.
Yes, it is a good thing. It is a good thing because sugar is unnecessary calories. They are called empty calories. There is no fiber in it. There is no vitamin. There is no protein. It is only calories that is going to add to your weight. But sugar is a problem if you are having in excess. Otherwise, it is not a problem. If you are going to have just 2 cups of tea in a day with 1 or half teaspoon of sugar, that's absolutely fine. Even if you have diabetes.
So cutting down sugar is also a problem sometimes. You require sugar for your body.
See, you need something called as carbohydrates. For this, we have to go a bit detail into diet. So carbohydrates, fats and proteins. Everybody knows carbohydrate, fats and proteins. In carbohydrate, there are different types. One is complex carbohydrate, which your body has to break down before absorbing into blood. And there are simple sugars like your table sugar or fructose, which is there in fruits, or your glucon D, plain glucose. That is simple sugar. So simple sugars are absorbed quickly when you eat, whereas complex sugars, they need some time for digestion and then slowly they are taken up. So what you need to focus is on what kind of sugars you are having, complex sugars or simple sugars. Avoid simple sugars because they cause sugar spike. Complex sugars are better.
So morning में मैंने उठने के बाद में if I have tea, that's fine.
Yes, absolutely fine.
शाम
But how
को
much
एक
of
चाय,
tea?
कप चाय भी चलता
How
है.
much of tea and how much of sugar you are going to put in it is important.
एक चम्मच,
एक
आधा
चम्मच,
चम्मच,
yes, that is absolutely fine. No issues.
एक चम्मच,
Yes.
और शाम को एक चम्मच.
Yes, no issues.
देन बाद में लोग बोलते हैं कि दूध में भी शुगर होता है, यू कट डाउन मिल्क.
See, you cannot, any food item, you cannot see what is the sugar content only. You have to see what other things that milk is providing, which is calcium, proteins, fats, vitamins. Lot of things are there. So some foods will have sugar, but that has a lot of other beneficial things also. So you have to have milk.
तो मिल्क वाली चाय पिया है विदाउट मिल्क वाली?
With milk.
विथ
With milk.
ये
See,
पॉडकास्ट
I'm a tea lover, so I would always say with milk.
मेरे लिए अच्छा जा रहा है पॉडकास्ट. ओके, सो यू कैन हैव
Yes.
प्रॉपर 2 वक्त की चाय.
Yes, with sugar.
बीच में लेकिन चाय पीते नहीं रहना चाहिए ऐसे.
Yes, don't have too much of tea because each time you add 1 teaspoon of sugar, you are adding to problem.
ओके.
And a lot of patients I see that they have cut down sugar in their tea, but they have not cut down on their chapati.
हाँ.
So what people do not realize is, have you any time weighed your chapati in kitchen? Just as an example. No.
नहीं.
So usual chapati is 40 to 50 grams.
ओके.
Now chapati is made of what? Wheat.
वेट.
And wheat has 75% of carbohydrates, which is complex sugar, but sugar.
हाँ.
So if you are eating, say 40 gram chapati, 30 grams you are eating as form of sugar, complex sugar. That is equivalent to almost 6 teaspoon of sugar.
ओके.
So if you cut down 1 chapati, you are cutting down 6 teaspoon of sugar directly. Whereas you are cutting only sugar in tea, you are cutting down only 1 teaspoon. So if you want to reduce weight, cutting down that 1 teaspoon in tea is not that beneficial as compared to cutting down 1 chapati.
2 चपाती से एक ही चपाती खाना है बस.
If you are overweight.
If you're
If you are at correct weight, just continue what you are eating.
ओके. सो चपाती से भी डायबिटीज हो सकता है, शुगर
Excess.
एक्सेस खाने से.
So see, every food item has a limit. Not less, not more. You have to optimize it.
डाइट की जब बात करते हैं हम, मैनी पीपल हैव सीन कि वो सुबह कुछ नहीं खाएंगे, सिर्फ दोपहर में खाएंगे, फिर सिर्फ रात में खाएंगे, फिर आता है ट्रेंड इंटरमिटेंस फास्टिंग वाला जो 16-18 घंटे तक कुछ नहीं खाना है. आर वी नॉट स्ट्रेनिंग अवर बॉडी बाय डूइंग सच काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स?
No. I mean, there are very interesting lectures available on this thing, YouTube. But see, mankind has been there for how many years? 10,000 or more than that. And this concept of breakfast, eating something when you wake up, has come in last 500 years or so, not before that.
अच्छा.
When we are hunters gatherers, morning we used to get up, and then what we used to do, we go out for hunting. There is no breakfast ready in your home. So you hunt, you do your exercise, that is, and then you get food. So if you're going to skip breakfast, it doesn't make a big difference as long as you don't have diabetes. See, once you develop diabetes and then you go on medicines, then you have to be a bit more strict about your food timings.
लेकिन ये भी कॉन्सेप्ट था बीच में कि ब्रेकफास्ट इज किंग एंड सम लंच इज क्वीन और छोटा सा डिनर लेना है.
Yeah. So, well, some people do consider that as a concept, but see, again, how I'm coming back again to the goal. What is our goal? To maintain ideal body weight and ideal body composition. For that, you have certain caloric need. For example, my weight is today 72 kilos. And with exercise, I have to eat 2000 calories to maintain my weight, wherever it is. Now, that 2000, whether I break it into 200 10 times or 1000 2 times, doesn't matter that much. As long as I am sticking to that goal of 2000 calories in a day, I may divide it into breakfast, lunch, dinner. I may have only breakfast and dinner. I may have only lunch and dinner. Whatever I please. As long as I am sticking to the total goal, I am fine.
सीजन के हिसाब से भी खाना चेंज होना चाहिए. कितना खाना है, बारिश में ज़्यादा खाना है, कम खाना है.
It depends on whether your physical activity is going to get affected because of the seasons. For example, those who do outdoor activities, they may reduce activities during monsoon. So then they have to reduce their intake. Otherwise, they will gain weight.
अच्छा, तो मोर यू आर एट होम, आराम से बैठे हो सोफे पे लेटे हुए, तो कम खाना चाहिए.
Yes.
When you are exercising,
Yes,
going out,
yes,
you should
correct.
eat more. आपके बारे में बताइए, what do you eat in the morning? आप तो because you are there next door, we can ask this
See,
question.
it just keeps on varying. Like for 2 months, I was not having breakfast at all. First of all, I don't have diabetes. I don't have pressure.
Yeah.
So I have that flexibility. I can do that. So for 2 months, I didn't have breakfast. I just tried what happens. Nothing happened. Then I was having only dahi for breakfast for 2-3 months.
हाँ.
I maintained weight. Then I had only omelette for 2-3 months. Omelette without chapati or anything. Currently, I'm just having usal chapati at home.
हाँ.
So it keeps on varying.
You are from Pune, so you are
Yes.
usal lover.
Usal, yes.
Okay, so depends on each one of them.
Yeah, you have that flexibility. As long as you are sticking to your caloric goal, no issues.
और अगर डायबिटीज हो गई, so what next? Is that a death sentence?
Okay. So diabetes is a very broad term. Now, you must have heard that there are types of diabetes. So first, how diabetes was diagnosed? High sugar. That is the basic. Now, type 1 diabetes, there is no insulin at all. Body cannot produce insulin. So then you need insulin. There is no other option. Type 2 diabetes is what we typically see every day. Obese people, they have adequate insulin, but because of that excess fat in the body, that insulin is unable to work. It is called insulin resistance. So there some tablets work nicely. Then there is gestational diabetes, so sugar that comes during pregnancy. It comes up during, say, 3rd or 4th month of pregnancy, the sugar comes up. That is called gestational diabetes. That is temporary. As soon as the baby gets delivered, the sugar settles. So these are common types of diabetes.
So डरना चाहिए, नहीं डरना चाहिए diabetes?
Yes, absolutely. Once you have diabetes, डरना चाहिए मतलब you have to take care. If you have to take care. So how do we define diabetes? Blood sugars, I'll tell you the values. If fasting sugar is more than 125, HbA1c, which is your average sugar of previous 3 months, it is more than 6.5, and 2 hours post-meal sugar or 2 hour sugars after taking 75 gram of glucose, that's a specific test. If it is more than 200, 125, 200, 6.5, 3 values. The sugar crosses this, you have diabetes. And why these values are important? Because once sugar starts crossing these values, the chances of getting complications, they become higher. And the complications, that means we are looking at kidney failure, we are looking at blindness because of retina, heart attacks, paralytic attacks, cirrhosis of liver, bone fractures, multiple things. Cancers are more common. So these
With
are
diabetes.
Yes. So if you develop diabetes, you know that now, and if you get the values, especially HbA1c below 6.5, then the chances of getting complications are negligible.
So what is your experience? आप तो you must be breaking news to everyone कि आपको diabetes है. Means जिनको है वो. So what is their first reaction when you tell this?
Well, some of them don't even believe that they have diabetes.
Huh.
And on single report, even we don't believe. So we always, if we are not expecting that patient at that age, diabetes, then we always recheck. But some patients, they don't take it well. They get temporarily depressed, but they come back. Some patients are expecting because their parents already have diabetes, their brother or sister has diabetes, and then they are kind of prepared, but they are prepared to do something about it. And a lot of patients these days, now there is a what we can call FAT to check sugars and all tests once in 6 months, once in a year. So they come with the report, doctor, I have diabetes.
Okay.
So that also happens.
They already have knowledge about it.
Yes.
तो आप मीन्स हाउ आई एम ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड साइकोलॉजी ऑफ अ डॉक्टर कि आपके सामने बैठा है आदमी, उसको बताना है कि भाई लाइफ इज गोइंग टू चेंज.
Yes. So when a patient of diabetes newly detected comes, we have to see whether it is just diabetes or he has come with with diabetes and some complications already. For example, a patient may come with a heart attack and he is admitted for heart attack, but we detect diabetes. So he is already in a complication stage. Whereas somebody who is, say, 30-year-old just comes with fasting sugar of 130, which is just above 125. So this is just start of diabetes. So the approach is different. For somebody who is just recently detected to have diabetes, we tell him you start with lifestyle changes. If needed, we start medicines. Somebody who has come with complications, then he has to start everything right at the start, and then we decide what to do.
So आपके एक्सपीरियंस में सबसे यंगेस्ट डायबिटिक पेशेंट कितने एज का था?
Type 2. See, type 1 diabetes is something that usually comes in first decade of life, which is the child is in school. 4 years, 6 years, 8 years. That is type 1. Type 2, now we see patient at age of 25. I mean, they are still doing their education, they are yet to get married, and they have diabetes already. So what diabetes at age of 25 means is probably at age of 40, another 15 years, she is going to land into kidney failure. So that's a
if it is
thing.
not treated.
If it is not well controlled, yes.
आपके लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी कम हो जाती है if there is diabetes?
Uncontrolled diabetes, yes. Well controlled diabetes, no.
You can live life normal
Yes,
with
normal,
controlled
normal,
diabetes.
yes, very much.
डरने की उतनी बात नहीं.
नहीं.
ओनली कंट्रोल की बात है.
You have to take care. You don't have to get frightened.
बहुत बार हमने देखा इंसुलिन लगाते हैं लोग और दे आर देयर. सो ये इंसुलिन क्या होता है? बिकॉज आउटसाइड इंसुलिन जब लगाते हैं, जस्ट नॉट मच टेक्निकल फॉर अ नॉर्मल पर्सन.
See, our body produces various hormones to control sugar because we want sugar to be in a particular range, say 70 to 100. So we need some hormones to increase sugar and some hormones to reduce sugar. So insulin is one hormone that reduces sugar. It keeps under control. So there are some types of diabetes like type 1, there is no natural insulin. So we have to give it externally. In type 2 diabetes, they have some amount of insulin, natural insulin, but that is not adequate for their needs. Then also, initially we try with tablets. If they are not working, then we give external insulin. So insulin is a hormone, it's a protein hormone. And as of now, only injectable form is available. See, around 2008, inhaled insulin had come into market, but it didn't do well. There was no ease of titrating, adjusting the dose. It has to be used as a spray, and then it was taken out of market. Now the trials are starting again of inhaled insulin. So
Right now it is more of a...
Why people are more scared about insulin is it's an injection. Otherwise, if you look at the side effect profile of insulin versus other drugs, insulin is probably safer.
Just that you have to inject it.
It's an injection.
Piercing hota hai yahan pe.
But see, actually, there are different types of injections, and the insulin injection is just like a mosquito bite, not more than that. It's that simple.
बट और एक बात है कि डायबिटीज़ होने के बाद बहुत सारे लोग कट डाउन तो करते हैं शुगर, बट देर आर ऑल्सो दे आर थिंकिंग कि कैन इट बी रिवर्स हो सकता है क्या? सो कैन इट बी रिवर्स्ड?
Yes, it can be reversed, but there are what we call caveats or some conditions. One, it has to be type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, there is no question of reversal, not possible. Type 2 diabetes, especially those who are obese or overweight, it can be reversed. So there are ways of reversing. One is obviously your weight loss, and the second is something called as bariatric surgery. You may have heard of this, weight loss surgery.
Okay.
So we open abdomen, a part of stomach is cut to reduce the size of stomach, and the surgery is done. After that, the diabetes is reversed.
अच्छा.
So that is bariatric surgery. This is another option for reversing diabetes. And reversing, what does it mean? That your HbA1c should be less than 6.5. 6.5 is our limit. Above that, diabetes. Below that, no diabetes. So your HbA1c comes below 6.5 without any medicines for 1 year, that is reversal. Now, is this reversal permanent? It is not permanent. Usually after 5-6 years, the diabetes will come back.
Even if I take all the precautions?
Yes, it will come back. But
recurrence होता है diabetes?
Yes, it will come. It will come. But see, still 5 years you are getting without any medicine. That's a huge achievement in itself, first. Second, you are pushing diabetes again 6 years later, say. So the complications are also going to be pushed 6 years or even 10 years later.
So 6 year के बाद जब रिवर्सल होता है तो वापस रिवर्सल नहीं होता है?
That I have not seen.
There is no second
No.
reversal?
No.
एक ही you get that window.
See,
of
it again
5-6
depends.
years.
For example, I'll tell you. So, imaginary patient. A patient who is supposed to be 70 kilo but he actually is 130 kilos. He undergoes reversal by diet control or surgery or whatever. His sugar comes under control. Okay. Now, because his sugar has come under control, he has lost his diet control, he gains weight again. He gains a lot of weight. He will get diabetes again. But if he realizes that sugar has gone up because he has gained weight again he loses, there is a good chance that it will get reversed again.
Okay.
So there is a chance.
बार बार रिवर्स हो सकता है?
Yes, it depends on again body type.
हाँ.
So take another person who was 130 kilos, he has come to 100 kilos, diabetes is reversed. 6 years have gone, he has not gained weight, he is still controlling his diet, he is doing exercise, weight has remained constant, but now the sugar goes up. In this second person, it won't get reversed.
So people don't die due to diabetes. Diabetes results into other complications.
Complications, yes. There are 1 or 2 complications of diabetes directly that are lethal, it is called as diabetic ketoacidosis or HONK. It's a short form. So these 2 things can kill a person if he doesn't get ICU care.
Can you just elaborate for us?
When the sugar goes very high in the sense usually these patients have sugar above 600 and remains there for say 2-3 days, 4 days. Then see, why do we have sugar in our blood? That blood sugar is taken up by tissues for their own function. Now in diabetes, there is a lot of sugar in the blood, but the tissues cannot take it up because of lack of insulin.
Okay.
So these patients have very high sugar, but the tissues are unable to take it up for use. Then they produce certain chemicals, they are called as keto acids. And the levels go up. And once they go up, then every system in the body is affected.
It's a collapse.
It's a collapse. So if these patients come on time, they will be saved.
Okay.
So diabetic ketoacidosis, it's a treatable disease, but untreated, it can lead to death. That is immediate death. But all other diabetes-related deaths are due to certain complications. It could be kidney failure, it could be heart attack, it could be cirrhosis.
Men versus women में ज़्यादा diabetes किसको होता है, men या women?
Well, we see equal.
Equal.
Yes.
There is
Equal,
nothing, no gender bias for diabetes.
At least in our regular practice, no.
Or nothing. It's everywhere the same.
Everywhere the same.
Nationally.
In fact, what happens in ladies is they are less likely to do outdoor activities or regular exercise. They are less likely to pay attention to their own diet when they are paying more attention to their family's diet. So obesity is much higher in ladies as compared to gents.
Okay.
So yes, diabetes is higher.
So to avoid diabetes, now if I don't want to, I'm not diabetic, but I may get diabetes in future.
Correct.
Can I walk in Manipal Hospital? Can I meet you and take advice for you, or you are waiting for me to get diabetes?
No, absolutely not. You should come if you want to talk to us for prevention of diabetes. We are always open.
Acha.
And in fact, this should be done by every person who has diabetes for his children.
Okay.
Suppose somebody gets diabetes at age of 50, he should get his young children who may be at age of 18 or 20 to us to know how to prevent diabetes, because they have a higher chance of getting diabetes.
So even अपनी family legacy के जरिए, it's not a legacy, family history के जरिए, if you are getting, then also you can prevent it.
Yes.
Completely you can prevent it.
See, again, it's a vague idea, I would say. What do you mean by preventing it? It cannot be prevented lifelong. But what I can do is prevent it from coming at age of 40. It will still come at 60 probably. But I can prevent it from coming at 40. So that is prevention. So that can be definitely done. Even if you have a family history, you can postpone development of diabetes significantly.
Is there also religious related significance इसमें कि there, because some religion there is a lot of practice of eating meat. There are some people who are veg, completely veg. There are some people just like me, both mixed.
See, again, regardless of religion, what are your religious practices, if they are going to cause obesity, excess fat collection anywhere in the body, it is going to lead to diabetes.
Veg खाने वालों को भी diabetes होती है.
Yes, absolutely. See, non-veg food has no relation to diabetes as such directly. But somebody who is a meat eater, he is eating too much meat and he gets obese. Versus somebody who is having only rice and dal, but he is also getting obese. Both have equal chances of developing diabetes. So if your food, regardless of what you eat, if it is resulting in obesity, you will get diabetes.
So the main concern is obesity. You have to control it.
And that too not any obesity, what we call abdominal obesity. So some people are obese, but the fat is under the skin, say thighs or buttocks or chest. And abdominal obesity is the fat collection around organs that you cannot see externally. It can be detected on ultrasound. Like a lot of people do ultrasound these days and they get a report called they have fatty liver.
Fatty liver, yeah.
So fatty liver is abdominal or visceral obesity. That is important.
That should not happen.
That should not be there.
Okay, thank you very much. But before we actually end this episode, any specific advice to people to sum up the entire conversation?
Okay. So type 2 diabetes is a preventable disease. Even if you get type 2 diabetes, if you act timely, you can reverse it, at least for few years for sure. And suppose your type of diabetes is not at reversible stage, if you maintain that HbA1c below 6.5 with help of lifestyle as well as medicines, then the chances of developing various complications are significantly reduced. And you don't need a rocket science to prevent diabetes or reverse diabetes. The simple thing that you need in your home is a weighing scale and your height measuring scale. So if you maintain your height in centimeters minus 100 at that level, then the chances of diabetes are much lesser. If you don't pay attention to your weight and excess body fat, you are likely to get diabetes.
Okay, और सुबह की चाय पियो but with limited 1 spoon sugar और पी सकते हो, because this is majority people would like to know about all this.
And they will be happy to know this.
Thank you very much, doctor, for joining us. सो हो पॉडकास्ट आमी तुमच्या मुखार हाडिल्लो इन एसोसिएशन विथ मणिपाल हॉस्पिटल्स दोना पावला. आनी जर तुमकां हाजे परस आनी कितें जाणा जावन घेवपा खातीर तुमी डॉक्टरांक मेळूं शकता एट मणिपाल हॉस्पिटल दोना पावला. यू कॅन ऑलवेज विजीट हिम. एंड एज आय आस्क्ड हिम, डायबिटीज जावच्या पयलीं सुद्दां एज अ प्रिवेंटीव मेजर जर तुमकां विचारपाचें कितें आसत जाल्यार दोतोर तुमकां म्हणचे ना चलपा लाग म्हणून. दोतोर बसयतले आनी एक्सप्लेन करतले बाबा हें कर, हेका लागून तूं म्हाजो पेशंट जावचो ना म्हणून. करेक्ट न्हू? इफ एक पेशंट मायनस हो जाएगा उसके बाद में. सो पेशंट जावन वचूं नाका दोतोराक, अदरवायज यू कॅन गो अँड टॉक टू हिम. यू आर वॉचिंग दीस हब पॉडकास्ट ऑन युअर फेवरेट चॅनल गोवा न्यूज हब. कीप वॉचिंग.